Okay, guys. I think we are good now. Okay. So today we're going to talk about our safety lesson for the month of April. So can any of you guys tell me, when we get started with this, can you guys tell me what is a stranger? Who knows what a stranger is?
A stranger is a person that you don't know.
Okay, somebody that you don't know. And what's the other part of a stranger?
Someone you don't go with.
Somebody you might know a little bit and you just don't go with, okay? Are all strangers bad people?
No.
What do you think? Yes or no?
No.
No. Are all strangers good people?
No.
No. So when we talk about strangers, you don't know if a stranger is a good person or a bad person by how they look or how they act, and so we don't want to go off with them all by ourselves, because by the time you find out if they're a bad person, it's too late, okay? So we don't have to be afraid of everybody, but we definitely want to be aware of what's around us. And each month we talk about a child lure, which is a trick that a stranger might try and use to get us to do something we wouldn't normally do. So, yes?
One is they give you like candy. It turns out it's poison and makes you fall asleep so they can kidnap you.
So yeah, so we talk about things similar to that, okay? So what we're going to talk about today is using your name. So I'll ask you guys this question first. Let's say you're on the playground and a stranger comes up to you and they say, "Oh, little girl, I'm supposed to drive you home from the playground today. Why don't you come with me, little girl?" And that's what they say. Does that sound very convincing?
Yeah.
No, right? That's pretty obvious that
It's like they're a badass.
So that's pretty obvious that it's not a person that you should go with, right? Now, they come up to you and they say, "Oh, Kennedy, I used to know your mom when I used to work with her, and she asked me if I can come and pick you up from the playground today." Would that be a little bit more real?
Yeah.
Because they're like, "Oh, well, they seem like a stranger, but they know my name, so they must know me a little bit." Okay, so when we talk about a name lure, it's somebody using your name to try and trick you into being a little bit more comfortable than you should be. Okay, so if somebody came up to you like that situation, you're on the playground, somebody says your name, how would you maybe feel?
A little bit like strange and concerned.
Maybe a little concerned, maybe a little confused. You're like, "How does this person know my name?" Okay. What else might you feel?
Uncomfortable.
Uncomfortable, maybe. Okay. What else? Nervous. Okay. Scared, maybe a little bit. So, just because somebody knows your name, the important thing is that does not mean that they're safe to go with. Okay. How do you think somebody might find your name? That they don't know you, but how might they find your name out?
Like if your mom ever the internet.
Okay, maybe online they see a post or something like that on the internet. That could be something.
Maybe it might be Karen something and it has like a name tag.
Yeah, maybe.
For example, Floyd on it.
Yeah, maybe you have a sweatshirt and it's on the side of your sweatshirt, or maybe you have a bag, your backpack has your name stitched on it, right? So they can see it and they can read it. What else might happen?
Like if you have a jersey for lacrosse, it might have
Yeah, sports jersey, something like that.
maybe if I don't know, this one might seem a little weird, but they've been watching you for your whole life.
Well, maybe not for your whole life, but you could be on the playground and all of a sudden you're playing with one of your buddies on the playground and they're like, "Hey, Kennedy, come play with me over here." And they just hear that name, so now they know your name, right? So the important thing when we talk about this lesson is just because somebody uses your name does not mean that they're somebody you can trust, okay? If they said, "Oh, Kennedy, I used to work with your mom, I'm going to come pick you up," they wouldn't, your mom would not send that person to pick you up. They would send somebody that they trust and somebody that you trust, right? So that's our lesson this week. Just because somebody uses our name does not mean that they are trustworthy to go with. Okay? Everybody say "Os."
Oh.
Very good. All right, awesome, guys. You can go back into class. Thank you.